I think, you know, the team is one team, and we're really looking forward to like the first place. We don't care about second place. We've got enough of them already.
Hey everybody, my name is Akinola, and I'm the host of The Feed, which is what you're watching right now. This is a brand new podcast for Philadelphia Fusion to talk all things Overwatch League, video games, Philly culture, you name it, we're going to talk about it. To kick off our very first episode, we're speaking with Fusion GM Roston Yoo.
Hey, thanks so much. Happy to be here on the show, and obviously here to talk about the team and some of our past season and what's coming up next. So happy to be here.
Yeah, we're just going to do a deep dive, and we hope that you enjoy this first episode. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Roston, all right, the first thing I want to ask you is, obviously we're in the middle of a pandemic. It kind of changed the landscape of esports as a whole, not just affecting Overwatch League, but pretty much every pro esports league, and they had to pivot. We had things to look forward to, and Activision Blizzard had to step on the back foot, change some stuff up so that we could watch games this season. Tell me, in your opinion, how that affected you and team members. How quickly did you have to adapt to those changes?
Well, I think it's kind of for us, it was happened kind of suddenly, I would say. We were obviously in the middle of the beginning of the season, which was like kind of our first experience with a lot of travel with the players. So there were, every week, pretty much, I think I want to say we were in Houston at the time. And then they were saying, oh shoot, next week, the homestand in Florida that Mayhem is hosting might be canceled. And I'm going, what? Because of this, because of this COVID-19. Like back then, everyone was like, isn't it supposed to be just be like another flu? And we've heard of other airborne illnesses in the past, like in our lives at some point. And then I don't think any of us expected that. I actually think NBA was kind of the first pro league to kind of say, we're protecting our players, our staff.
Mm-hmm.
We're postponing this game. We're not going to have it. And then I think that was like the first real step where I think we had to recognize that in order to protect the league and our players and be safe, we had to shut it down. So it was crazy. We were in the middle. We're ready for, we're already on a good start.
Yeah.
We were undefeated, and then we were trying to go in and we actually had one loss, but we were doing really well. And then we were trying to keep that momentum, and then out of nowhere there's a stop to the season. They go, oh, we're putting it on pause for a couple of weeks. And I think that was kind of like how it was extremely abrupt for us. And then we kind of were obviously it was just the start of what would define the world for like the next year.
Let's talk about performance last season. So if we look at the 2020 performance, I mean, the Fusion objectively did really well, but they always seem to fall short of the bigger titles. Overwatch League main title, the May Melee, the tournaments leading up to playoffs. Talk to me about how that affected morale of the team, because it's great to do good, but it also feels really bad to do so well and fall so short of first place victory.
Yeah, I mean, what you said, like you nailed it right there. That's exactly how it was for us. I think, there's our first season when we went to the grand finals, to be honest, at that point it felt like we were playing with house money and we were just enjoying the ride. We were had an up and down season. We had everyone fairly inconsistent of a season for us in year one, where every game we would show that we have the tools to be the best, to beat the best, but at the same time we also found ourselves in situations where we would also be kind of playing down to the level of our opponents.
Yeah.
And that's obviously something that we don't like. Obviously we love clutching and we love being in map 5, so I know that a lot of our fans,
oh yeah,
depending on what type of fan you are, you might love those map 5s and you live
or you
for
might
it.
hate them.
Like, I get so many messages about people like, please pay my cardiology bill after that heart attack of a game. And I think for us to have gone to the grand finals, made it as far as we have, been such a strong team. I think that run as like a playoff underdog, beating best team NYXL in the playoffs and stopping their hopes of going to the finals, I think for us that's always going to be a huge success. It's also getting so close has been like a huge motivational factor for our players. Like every
Hmm.
player remembers we have the most players still on their like original roster. So like those guys that were on like Poco, Carpe, EQ, like these guys were on the stage. Like they like uh remember what it's like to like play in front of the crowd and also lose. So
Hmm.
we motivate ourselves a lot with that. But again, last year was tough for morale. You get close that many times. Um, it's easy to get demotivated, actually. And I see a lot of other teams that get really close and then they kind of fail to hit that mark, the first place, and they hit
Yeah.
second place. They kind of have like a slump after, actually. And I think one of the things I'm most proud of our Fusion guys is like um, we've kind of have a lot of reason to get kind of knocked down last year. A lot of moments where people thought, we're not going to get back up and the
Hmm.
next meta is not going to be as good for us. But I think our guys kind of showed a lot of tenacity and grit there. And I think, um, you know, I think these guys have been able to fight really hard and yeah, and they're able to bounce back and stay motivated. And I think that's what makes them such special players that represent Philly.
Yeah, Philadelphia and underdog stories. I don't think there's a better combination. I mean, we have movies and infinite
I
examples
know.
to really represent that, and I think that's what makes being a Philadelphia Fusion fan feel so good. Um, does every map have to go to map 5? No, but when it does and we win, it feels good. It feels damn good. And I mean, I remember being at these events, whether you're at a Buffalo Wild Wings or another sports bar, just watching these fans, they've got the black and orange face paint. You've got just this tenacity and this dedication that is not seen in other leagues. And I think it's really special. That's what's really special about the Overwatch League. They wanted to be the first to have this this city this city unity where Philadelphia sports fans could just come together as one and be there for the team, win or lose. And man, I miss seeing people at events so bad. So I really hope that we're on a track to get back to that point eventually. It's only the start of the season, and I, your host, Akinola, I'm going to be here each week bringing you the Fusion content that you need all season long. And making today possible, this podcast series is powered by Xfinity. You can get a fast and reliable connection from Xfinity, the only network with gig speed Wi-Fi and the preferred provider of the Philadelphia Fusion. So let's talk about the upcoming season and these changes. For anybody who hasn't been paying attention, Overwatch League is going to this hybrid format where they're going to be doing, still remote competition, but there still will be times in the year where teams physically meet up. Do the boys miss playing on LAN, from week to week? I know that experience is not the same playing over the internet versus playing on LAN. So can you talk to me about how the players have kind of worked through that process?
Oh God, they miss it. Like I think one of the biggest rewards of being a professional player is that live experience. Kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
as a pro player, you're sitting in front of, in a room, in front of a computer a lot, and you're practicing all day, but you don't really get that engagement from like really the people you're playing for. Like we play for our fans. Like, our guys love our fans and they're like
Mm-hmm.
always like, doing our best for, the city of Philadelphia and the team. And I think not having that's been part of. I think one of the saddest parts of COVID is like it's kind of like one of the main rewards I think the guys look forward to. Seeing real fans, real people who, guys that actually spend their time watching your gameplay to learn how
Yeah.
you do it. Like those are the guys that really motivate us to, continue what we do. Um, but I think for us, we obviously really us as a team loves live more than I think other teams. Maybe I think there are other teams that have younger players that maybe have a little more stage fright and maybe like in person on LAN nerves. And I think for us, we've had some of that actually. Like I've definitely seen that in year 1 and 2, but we now have a lot of veterans, guys who have experienced it and have had great moments and bad moments on stage. And when
Yeah.
you're kind of equipped with both of those experiences, you can kind of be more comfortable on stage. And I think for us, I think it's a kind of a bit of a nerf to not be able to play on stage. And I think
Yeah.
but not necessarily because it's nerfing us, but it's because it's like kind of like buffing a lot of the unproven younger guys that may have a lot of stage fright.
Yeah. No, I definitely feel you on that aspect. I mean, I'm looking forward for the boys playing in a live capacity. I swear the next opportunity to go to a LAN, I'm going to be over there. I don't really care where it is in the country. I just want to see live esports again, not just in Overwatch League, but other pro leagues. Let's talk about the upcoming games of the season. So there's this interesting format. It's going to be, an East versus West type deal. A lot of people may not realize that the Fusion and a handful of other teams are going to be playing from Asia, while other people are going to be playing in North America. So how did the Fusion get tied up into that, and what are the plans?
So I think one of the best things about COVID, one of the best things, sorry, one of the only good things to come out of COVID was I actually really liked the tournament cycle schedule that we have. It's kind of something we adopted because we had to kind of change to kind of like create a new system because of COVID and because of online play. But I actually think what came out of it was a really good idea. I think you can showcase like the best of each meta in each tournament, and it kind of gives, with incentives for both on monetarily and through wins, you can really improve your standing with the tournaments. And I think, there's a lot to play for, and I think the more opportunities that there are big moments to play for, the more fun the league is. So personally really like that. On the note of going to Korea, for us, and like it should be very obvious to the league and our fans, and it's already obvious to everyone within the org that the org is like very much a player focused organization where we really do we are good org at listening to our players and like what's important, what's not, kind of how to make a kind of like a hard work culture that is sustainable and fun. I think is like a big focus for us. And this move to Korea was very much due to like the quality of life for our players. Last year, when you talk about culture, you talk about us being such a great team. Always, regular season performance. We finished the regular season in first place in North America, and I think that's like a feat that we always aimed for. I didn't think we would actually get there, and we weren't able to actually properly celebrate much during the year because from personally at least, I mean from us as a management side, like we take health like risk and everything pretty seriously. Like we try to like really follow the rules, and we're sticking to like, even when we're practicing, we had guys social distance. Even if they're only seeing each other, we still wanted to keep things like as safe as possible, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things about going to Korea, we were there for Final Four. Obviously our performance wasn't very good there. It was really tough for us to kind of transition to what was more of a meta issue. We're not going to make any out of game excuses. It was a really poor meta for us considering how we had played all year. But going to Korea was just to, so we can do things like team activities or be in a place where things are actually open. And also some of the best competition in our university team is also in Korea already. So we have like a lot of expanded resources out there as well.
No other professional sport is as dependent on network technology and performance. As official Fusion Overwatch sponsors, CompScope delivers ultra-fast and reliable connectivity, allowing super smooth gameplay for the best talent around the globe. For more information, head on over to CompScope.com. It's always very important for a team to kind of push the envelope in terms of enriching what they do in game, but also out of game. So I think it's really cool that you guys are able to accomplish that for the boys and put them in as optimal an environment as possible. Let's talk about the upcoming games. So we got 2 games on deck, day 1 and day 2. First is Seoul Dynasty. They took us out at the 2020 playoffs and we got 4th. Are you guys excited to get exact revenge on the people who team that knocked you out?
Actually, so I'm pretty sure a lot of people that are watching us right now are most of them have questions probably about the start of our season. Actually, there's a kind of, from an org standpoint, we've been kind of quiet this off season.
We want to hear news. Like, we want to hear what's going on.
To be completely honest, they're just we're ready for news, but we actually have had substantial amount of visa issues getting our majority of our or half of our team into Korea.
Right.
This is something that we didn't obviously predict.
Right.
It's one of Korea is one of the safest places in the world for COVID-19 right now, and you know but right now we're gonna have a bit of another one of those underdog situations for
Hmm.
everyone. So our fans, brace yourself. We've been the it's likely that we won't have a portion of our starting lineup or
Hmm.
a large portion of our team in Korea by the time the season starts. So um, that we have to get a little creative on whether or not we have to get creative and sign another short-term player to fill in,
Yeah.
or if we have to have players play on a ridiculous ping, which is probably not
Yeah.
ideal. So
Not ideal, probably. Yeah.
yeah, so we're just all of our players that are not in Korea yet have been updated. They get updates like every other day about like
Hmm.
the status on the visa, and like right now we're just we're living in a weird world right now where
Yeah.
can't really predict some of these things, and like normal things that are supposed to be accepted and easy are now become difficult. And I think the first couple matches are gonna be tough. Just to say that, guys.
Hmm.
I would say that we will definitely be an underdog. It's unfortunate because yeah, we as much as we want to exact revenge on Seoul Dynasty, we might not. I don't want our guys to feel the pressure of that when really, given the way the world has gone, like the first we'll be out the gates potentially a little weaker, and then I
Yeah.
think by the time it's a couple weeks into the season and those visas approve, all our guys are in, then you'll start to see the full form fusion.
Yeah. Turn up. I mean, I think that's to be expected. I don't think anybody really wants this to be the reality of things, but COVID has changed everything so dramatically that I hear about this in other esports teams too that are trying to do play for their upcoming seasons where people are having problems getting into countries, um, doing the social distancing, making sure that they're quarantined for X amount of time before they're able to go freely, so that whatever bubble that is being made by a league is not compromised, because
Yep.
so much work. You referenced the NBA earlier,
Yeah.
how they went to ridiculous lengths to make sure that the sanctity of the bubble wasn't interrupted. And I think a lot of other places took that as, hey, we need to do more for our staff and our players so that this season can go off without a hitch. Because I'm pretty sure that that nobody wants to have an infinite season where people can't meet up physically, face to face, be on the same stage and do battle with one another. So, vaccines are rolling out. People are still social distancing. I feel like life will get back to normal eventually.
Yep.
So I want to take that. Let's talk about a bit of your own personal dealings with COVID and how it's affected your life. You're getting ready to go with the team and do your thing. Make sure that the Fusion boys are doing their thing. What do you miss most about this post-COVID world that we're in right now? Like, what do you miss about the old days before things really started getting locked down?
Geez, I think the biggest thing, I think since day one of Fusion, one of the big things that Tucker really believes in is like bonding over meals, and I think
Mm-hmm.
it's like a little similar culture to, I'd say, like we really do think that bonding over meals is important. I think Spurs, like Greg Popovich as well, does like a lot of like very team meal oriented like discussion. And I think
Yeah.
for us, we had like the talented chef Heidi with us in the year 1 and 2 at Fusion, and I think that experience of like, especially when you have a lot of cultures, bonding over food is like a really really easy way to like kind of like do something as a team where it's like productive, like you're eating something and at the same time you're
Yeah.
you're sharing culture and having fun. I think some of our fondest memories are just dinners as a group, and I think that's one of the things that I for sure miss the most. I think we were practicing really really hard in the beginning of the season where we were like holding off on any like fun dinners in Philly, and I think by the time we had some time to get some fun dinners in Philly, everything was closed. So
Yeah.
like a lot of guys have yet to try like the really good food culture. in Philly, and I think it's for like next time when they're back. So we'll
Yeah,
have to. I've got
you're
a
gonna ball
list
out.
now. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, we got a list of like really good restaurants, and I think that's one thing I personally really hate. Obviously it's affected me massively. Like I'm still here in Philadelphia. I'm not in Korea. I just got my visa approved, and
Oh,
then
nice, great.
so it's like for me, like I was also just shocked. Like I'm Korean American, and I just didn't really realize how difficult the process is to just get a visa sometimes,
Mhm.
especially as like a uh, Korean ethnic abroad.
Yeah,
Basically, it's like there's actually more steps because I'm ethnically Korean but not nationally Korean. So I think that's tough. But I think about a few of us are about ready to leave. I think we're waiting on a couple visas for some of our EU guys, and then we'll probably all be heading over it, like timing it in the next week, so we all arrive and we have to do our fun quarantine hotel
yeah.
together, which we've already done once. So, um, we'll be doing that together, and then just kind of uh, keep kind of like trying to keep everyone's mentals okay. It's been kind of tough. I think um, we have a really fun team in person. Like everyone knows that our team. Sorry, not everyone, but a lot of people that will see us will know that we're pretty. We really like to hang out with each other and like have fun. That kind of is gone. So like right now, all we have is like the work part of our lives, which is like
Yeah,
scrimming, and then I think, when it's only work you're interacting with, it can be a little more stressful at times. So I'm looking forward to mostly like good meals with the team as a group, and then also just like more in person. Just being together in person is everything.
yeah,
So I'm really excited for that.
absolutely. From a team standpoint, yeah, I've seen it with a bunch of other teams. The Fusion is no different, where that camaraderie, that brotherhood, that togetherness, it really helps a lot, especially when the team might not be performing as well as they would like,
Mhm.
and just being together with your family, like whether that's blood relatives or otherwise. Like,
Mhm.
uh, I cannot stress the importance of that. So if you're able to safely see your loved ones, whether you got the vaccine or whether you're masking up or social distancing, that togetherness is so human, and I miss it too. I mean, I haven't seen my parents in like 3-4 months now, but I know that there's light at the end of the tunnel
Mhm.
for not just us on the broadcast and people watching the show, but the boys over in Korea right now. And for people who are still trying to make their way over there, you guys will be back together soon. And I, for one, cannot wait to see what the boys do content wise, because we do miss seeing that content, that behind the scenes content,
Yeah.
whether it be looking at plays
Yeah.
or going out to get something or memeing, whatever the hot current trend is. And we will be looking forward to seeing what happens with you and the team. So we've
Yeah.
nothing but high hopes for everybody. And whenever you get out to Korea, I feel like we're going to have you on as regular, maybe not every week, but
Yeah.
every couple weeks, just to see how the total ambiance and the mindset of the team is doing, because
Yeah.
our fans are starved for content. I want to know what's going on. They want to
Yeah.
know what's going on. So any opportunity we can get you on the show and pick your brain, I think will be a good time. So I wish you guys
Yeah.
nothing but the best and safe travels to Korea when that time comes for you.
Mhm.
And we want to see you back on the show, Roston. So thanks for stopping in.
Yeah, it's honestly pleasure. Great to finally be here, and I know we've been
Yeah.
working on this for some time. I just wanted to maybe I just can't help but think fans are watching this and thinking, "Damn, I haven't really got to hear anything spicy yet or interesting from Roston." And
Right.
guys, fans, like real quick message, um, like we're doing everything we can to get our guys together, and like to be honest, a lot of the fun stuff we've planned for you guys and for our guys too is requires us to be together in person. I can understand Korea as a country has been doing extremely well with COVID-19, but one of the reasons they do so well is because they're extremely strict, and visa issuance for anyone who's not a Korean citizen has been very difficult. We have the best lawyers working on it, and we expect that we will be there sooner than later. So we don't have an official date yet, and I think the day we have that, you can start seeing a little more news from us. I can say that we do have um, a couple exciting faces that might be kind of maybe some new face might be joining the team to help us
Ooh.
out. help us out for the beginning of the season. It's someone you guys are familiar with, so you guys can Reddit detectives. You can start figuring out who that might be, or maybe it's already leaked by the time this podcast comes out. Who knows? But I think, you know, the team is one team, and we're really looking forward to like the first place. We don't care about second place. We've got enough of them already. Uh, we want to get first place, and whether it takes whether we got to get ramped up, and we're not maybe our mid-season form when we're looking fresh might be a couple weeks later than the other teams, but like guys, look at the roster. These guys are all hungry from the bottom to top. These guys want to be the best, and individually we have an incredible roster. So I know that success will be there. Please be patient in the beginning, fans. I know you guys have always been patient with us, so thank you. And we look forward to playing hard and working hard for you guys, and hopefully have more exciting news to come.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Roston. I know that they're going to be happy to hear that. You got the city of Philadelphia behind you in massive force, and we can't wait to see what you guys come up with. We'll be with you through the highs and the lows, I'm sure, and we'll have you back on in the future. That was the feed. Thank you very much for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe so you don't miss another episode. And if you are listening on other streaming platforms, you can also sub there so you don't miss out on another experience next time you're on the road, out riding your bike, doing whatever. Shout outs to Roston for showing up and giving his insight on the Fusion and their next steps as we go into this 2021 season. From everybody here at the feed, my name is Akinola Verissimo. Thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next episode.